Well, what I was told was this was going to be an upgraded version of what I was previously
Sure.
doing in NXT.
Okay.
Upgraded. A bigger and better version of what I did. And they said that they wanted to give me new music and they wanted to switch up my entrance a little bit. They wanted to incorporate more of my original logo, which was the X. It was a red X. They wanted to start doing some sort of form of an X. They talked about putting a giant X in the building on fire. And they talked about going in a direction a little bit more with like an evil gladiator. And then we got this mock-up of this outfit. And it looked cheap and horrendous. And I said, surely this is just a concept. This is not what they're actually going to try to manufacture or engineer. Because this is a $1 billion company and this looks like trash.
Right.
Sure enough, the day comes, we get the costume. And I was like, boy, I don't know about this. No new music. Scarlett's still singing the song. No new entrance. No X on fire. None of that. And they just rushed the character out there with no explanation of what was going on. And a lot of people, they try to pinpoint what it was that was missing or what didn't work and whatnot. At the end of the day, and I say this with all due respect to my wife, the character could have worked on Raw without her. She could have been her own separate star on the same show or another show, women's champion. She could have put her own spin, like make wrestling sexy again with her Impact stuff. She's a very, very creative person. And she was acquiescing to a lot of my ideas to create some sort of parallel simpatico. But she has many layers too. We could have been separate stars on our own. And the gladiator thing could have worked if it made sense for people watching. If there was an explanation why the character was wearing a helmet, wearing suspenders, where she went, and what the character's motives are on the show, it could have worked, as silly as the outfit was. And I didn't mind the outfit. I always go on record to say that. I felt comfortable in it. But it just didn't make any sense. Like I say this, like there was no continuity of what we were creating for people for over a year and a half. And then you just do all of these nonsensical experiments on the flagship show with this character. I mean, it was very obvious to me that whoever was making these decisions was going to absolve themselves of the demise, and then I would be fucked. I knew that. And I had voiced that to people that I trusted that were above me, and they assured me because they believed it too, that was not going to happen, but it did.
For Chris Adams, how did you get along with him?
I got along great with Chris. When before I went to WCW, he was running shows out in Texas, and I went and worked for him a bunch of times. Chris and Tony were great people. I loved Chris, and I'm still friends with Jeannie. His first wife, who then married Steve Austin. I'm still friends with her. As a matter of fact, we just chatted the other day. So, because she's moving, she's moving back to.
Her name Lady Blossom.
Yeah, Lady Blossom. Yeah, she's moving back from England. She's moving, I think, to Las Vegas. So she just wrote a book, and I wrote the foreword to her book. She wrote a book about it's shattered glass or shattered. Somebody don't get on to me about that because I can't. It's shattered. I think it's the Shattered Glass. Yeah, it's a really great book. Her autobiography is really good.
Oh, that's right, because she was with Chris Adams before Steve Austin.
Yeah, and then Steve. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they have a daughter together. Her and Chris have a daughter together. So.
And Steve Austin, when I listened to the podcast with him and you, he seems like he was a big fan of yours.
Yeah, I know. And that, to me, that's so amazing. And I love it because I heard him on another podcast that he did. And he was talking about my Gucci purse. He said, the Gucci purse was the best gimmick at all. That was the best gimmick ever. And I love that. I love that somebody, that's like of Steve Austin's caliber would say that about me. I mean, that makes me feel really, really good.
What did you think of him as a wrestler?
I thought he was great. I loved him. I mean, when I first met him, I thought he was cool. I mean, but it was also Jeannie came in with him, and I knew Jeannie from World Class, so it was kind of it was nice that she was there, and I was like, he's talent. I was like, he's money. He's money. That's what I thought about Steve.
Right from the start.
Yeah, right from the start. I was like, that's money.
I personally liked him better as the Stunning Steve character.
Oh, yeah, I loved him as Stunning Steve. Yeah, with the robes and everything. I thought he was really good at that.
I like him, so I don't mean to ask this in a bad way, but you know his first wife, and with the allegations that came out in later years about him from Deborah, do you think that's just more her wanting money, or?
I don't know. I don't think that's true, because I think Jeannie would have said something to me. I think if that would have been true, I think because Jeannie and I were pretty close, and I think Jeannie would have said something if that was the case.